Hello crew! Welcome back to Life Drawing with Miss Liberty. I hope you enjoyed doing lessons 1 through 6 where we completed drawing our masterpieces. Here are a few of my masterpieces, including some of the subject drawing we did in the first few lessons and our self-portrait that we completed close to the end of the lessons. Now, how can we make our portraits and our drawings look more realistic? Did you say by adding color? Then you would be right. In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to use color pencils to add color to our masterpieces to make them look more realistic. In today's lesson, you are going to need your color pencils for the color pencil lesson. You're going to need your pencil and your pencil sharpener. Before the lesson starts, please sharpen your pencil and your color pencils because it's important for them to be sharp for the lesson. You will also need your eraser because fortunately these color pencils can take to a little bit of erasing, so we can erase any color that gets outside of the lines. You're also going to need your sketchbook to do all of today's lesson, as it is an exercise-based lesson, and then you'll be able to take the skills that you learned today and apply them to your masterpieces, or if you wanted to do another draft, you can add color to that one as well. So before we do anything else today, let's get started.
Crew, here are the materials for today's lesson. You're going to need your pencil. I'm going to put my pencil in my handy dandy pencil holder, also known as a mug. You also have your 12-pack of color pencils here. We have red, red-orange, orange, yellow, yellow-green, green, blue, violet, sky blue, brown, and black and white. So let's go ahead and put those in the handy dandy pencil holder. We also have our DIY sketchbooks today. If you don't have one, pick one up from some paper and your erasers, and somewhere is my pencil sharpener because you need these pencils to be sharp. All right, let's open up to our first clean book page. A book page is when two sides of the page are clean. There we go. So over here on the right-hand side, we are going to do our worksheet. So let's write color pencils up there at the top. Going to warm up on the left-hand side. So get ready to stretch out, but first let me give you a preview of today's lesson. We are going to learn how to shade with color pencils from dark to light. We are also going to learn how to blend two color pencils together, and then we're going to have a little intro to skin tones with color pencils. So let's warm up. Stretch out those fingers, shake out your body, and get those pencils in your hand. Do you all remember how to hold a pencil for sketching? Is it like this? Well, it's like this if you're writing or you're trying to do tiny details, but for sketching, you're going to hold back here. You're going to hold the pencil kind of like chopsticks and use your fingers to apply pressure and change the position of the pencil. Either hold in the middle or further back, whatever feels more comfortable for you to sketch lightly. And we can apply more or less pressure by moving our hand, turning our hand in different positions, and we can shade large areas, we can shade darker or lighter. And go ahead and experiment with that until you feel comfortable. Color pencils are very similar to sketching as we are trying to do some smooth lines. So we're going to want to hold our pencil to the back so we could shade using the side of the color pencil. The side of the color pencil has a larger surface than the tip of the pencil, so we have a smoother gradient when we're shading. If it's hard to shade lightly, go ahead and move your hand further back on the pencil. Let's warm up. Make some circles, shade some areas, use whatever color you like. Let's see, that's why we need a sharp pencil so we can make some nice detailed lines, and we also have a large surface on the side. When we're shading with color pencils, it benefits us to move in the same direction as we're covering a surface so that our shading looks smooth. You can also smooth out some of that shading by moving in a circular motion. When we are shading with color pencils, we have to remember that the paper is like an English muffin. It has nooks and crannies. So you have to get that color pencil into all the nooks and crannies, or what we call tooth of the paper. And that's why I'm going in all different directions here, and the color is getting much more vibrant. So practice filling in areas a little bit darker. Also practice making these shading circles or these shading ellipses. So again, we're practicing making smooth transitions and shading smooth areas. All right, let's get started on the worksheet. Go ahead and take your pencil and start by drawing 2 rectangles, one on top of the other. There's my first one, and here is my second one. Next, you're going to draw 6 squares underneath those rectangles. On the first rectangle, we are going to shade with our color pencil from dark to light. On the next box, we are going to blend together 2 colors. I'm going to blend together red and yellow. You can blend together whatever 2 colors you like. Just remember, if you mix a primary color with its complementary color, you're probably going to get brown. So on the left-hand side on these squares, I'm going to start with a white base. Like if you were to mix paint, you'd start with white paint. And on the right side, we're going to start with a brown base. And these are going to make our skin tones. But let's start with just shading and blending. I'm going to use red. So with your color pencils, we're going to start by shading lightly with the side of the pencil from dark to light. And with these color pencils, you can't just fill in dark. You need to start out light, cover the surface area you want to cover, and then go over it over and over again until you get the vibrancy that you desire. So I'm going to go from dark to light. My shading is going to fade to nothing as I go to the light side. And I'm going to use my white color pencil to fill in those nooks and crannies so that there's no space for that red to get into there. So I will make a pink or a light red between my white and my red. So here's an example of that white making it difficult for the red to stick to the paper. So I get a pink or a light red. And you're going to see when we mix our skin tones that that's going to be useful when we're mixing our lighter skin tones. Like I told you with these color pencils, the way you get your colors is you build them up slowly. So I'm going to go over again with the red color pencil from dark to light. I'm applying a bit more pressure on the left-hand side where it's dark, trying to fill in those nooks and crannies and get as much of the color pencil on the paper as I can. And remembering to lighten up and fade in my shading as I go to the right because I want that to be white. If you haven't noticed, I'm using some fast forward techniques on these videos to get through some of the time, and I've also noted the color of the pencils I'm using on the top left of the screen. So if you're wondering, it's up there. Now I'm going to come in with blue. When we're using color pencils, we want to avoid the black color pencils. So instead we use some of our darker or cooler color pencils. So in this case, I'm using blue. I can also use the complementary color to red, green, to do my shadows, and you'll notice how the left-hand side of that red is starting to darken up, like I added gray or black to it. And again, I'm working darker with a little more pressure to the left and lightening up as I move over to the right. And I'm going to do what we call burnishing with the red again, and that's where I blend the colors together by going over them with one of the same colors again. You could also burnish with white, as the white color pencil will not stick to the paper after it's been filled with other color pencil. So I'm going to go in there and blend it again. Working with color pencils taught me to be very patient, as it takes quite a bit of time to get what you're looking for. Now let's start by mixing two colors together. Again, you're going to come in with that color pencil. I'm using red in this case, and you're going to lightly blend from dark to light about 3/4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go 3/4 across, where our red is going to disappear into the rectangle because we want it to blend into the yellow. So just like before, start out very lightly. You can put a little more pressure on the left, but you want the color to almost disappear to the right. I'm going to come in with the yellow, and with the lighter colors, you can press just a little bit harder in the areas that you want that yellow to pop, because the colors are lighter. They're not just brighter, and you got to press a little harder to see them. Again, I'm only going to go about 3/4 of the way across and let that yellow disappear into the red. I'm hoping to get a nice orange in the middle here, and maybe a yellow orange on the right and a red orange on the left. Here I am using fast forward to go in here a few more times. Remember, it's going to take you a little bit longer to do this than it's taking me in the video. And I'm coming in again with that yellow. If you color outside your boxes, do not worry. This is your worksheet. It's for your reference, so no big deal. And you see my transitions of colors right here. I blended them together, nice and smooth. Now let's look at our preview again. Let's look at our skin tones we're going to go into now. Now, if you look at the skin tones on the left, I started with a white base and I added other colors on top of that white. And on the right-hand side, I started with a brown base and I added other colors on top of the brown. For the top two, I added orange. The next two, I added other colors. And the bottom two, I added 3 or more colors. So let's go ahead and start on our worksheet. First, I'm going to go with that white color pencil. You can see the color in the top left corner. And I'm going to fill the left squares with that white color pencil. I'm going to apply a good amount of pressure going in all directions because I want my other colors to sit on top of this white. And I'm going to do the same thing with the brown color pencil on the right-hand side. Again, I want my other colors to sit on top of the brown as my base color. Again, I'm moving in all directions. I'm not pressing as hard with the brown color pencil because it is a dark color, so I do not need to press as hard to get the tone that I want. You'll have to forgive me. There are some pretty nice cars in my neighborhood and they are being driven around right now. So let's start with the top two. I have a red orange that I am going to blend into the white square on the left to make kind of a pinky tan color. And I'm also going to add that red orange over the brown, which gives me kind of a reddish, like ochre burnt umber kind of color. And I'm going to blend that in, and then I'm going to come in and burnish and blend by putting the white over that red orange. So I did white, red, orange, and white, and on the right side I did brown, red, orange, and brown. So I add that white and brown at the end to blend them in. So for the next squares, I am going to add some color over the white and brown. I'm going to put brown over my white, very lightly. Again, when we go over the white, we're going to start out light. You can always add more color. You can't take it away. Going in both directions, and there I get a nice light brown. And I'm going to add blue to the brown here, and adding the blue or the purple to the brown gives you these nice deep chocolate hues that are kind of nutty browns, and they're good also for the shadows if you have darker skin. And again, I'm going to burnish these by mixing the white back over the brown and also putting the brown back over the blue. For these last ones, I'm going to mix a few colors together. Over the white base, I'm going to mix yellow and red, and I think I forgot I'm going to need brown. I'm mixing a lot of colors here, so I'm only going in one direction with each color. I can always add more if it's not quite the color that I wanted. And over here, I'm going to add red, orange, and blue. So I use red, orange as a cheat because it has red, orange, and yellow in it, and I can get a nice color without using too many color pencils. I'm going to come in and add that blue, and then I'm going to blend it all in with the brown again. And I think I want to add a little yellow to that. So as you can see, if we just keep adding the colors together, we can get really unique colors that'll be unique to our own skin tone or the subject's skin tone. So you can see all the colors on the right were started with a brown base, and the ones on the left were started with a white base. The top two we managed to create using just two colors. Same with the second two, and the bottom two we mixed multiple colors together. So colors like brown, orange, yellow, and come in and mix a white, we can get a skin tone like that on the bottom left. Or if we take brown, orange, yellow, and blue, we can get more of the skin tones on the right. And it's almost endless. If I had time to make a color chart for you guys, we can mix all the colors together. Feel free to do that in your sketchbook, but I'll give you a couple more examples here. Here would be the example for a lighter skin tone. We're going to start with brown, and we're going to go ahead and put the red orange on top of that. I think here I'm actually creating something closer to my own skin tone here. So that red orange has red and orange in it. I'm going to add some more yellow to that. And you see how it brightened that brown up quite a bit? The red warmed it up, and then the yellow brightened it up a little bit. If we added blue or green, we would say that it was cooling it down. And add some more brown on top of there to blend it in. And there we go. You could do the same thing when you're doing your self-portrait. You could just hold your hand up to your paper, or hold your paper up to your face and look in the mirror. For this one, for the lighter skin tone, you can see I'm starting with the white color pencil and I'm filling it in quite well. Going to put the brown over the white color pencil. You see how it doesn't fill it in very much, just makes it a light brown. Trying to match my palm here. I think I'm adding a little bit of the red orange there. Like I told you, the red orange is my little cheat color. And I'm going to add some yellow as well. So just layer those colors in. It's magic. You can get thousands of colors out of these color pencil packs if you're just patient. And there we go, guys. We have introduced ourselves to color pencils. These tools will get us to a wonderful masterpiece or second draft or fourth draft just by using a few color pencils here. So remember, we use some complementary colors or cool colors for shading. We use the white to lighten our colors on one direction. We mix the red and the yellow together to make orange, red orange, yellow orange. And we also did our skin tones. So we did a few lighter skin tones and a few darker skin tones. There are many more skin tones than this, so enjoy experimenting, mixing those colors together. Remember, work lightly over the top. It makes a difference what color you start out with, as it will be your base color. So if I start out with blue and add brown, it will not be the same as if I start out with brown and add blue. Okay, crew, thank you for joining me.
Okay, crew, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I took some of the tools that I learned from today's lesson and I applied color to my self-portrait. I layered on the colors in the 12 color pack until I got a skin tone that was close to my skin tone. I also used shading from dark to light with some of my shadows in my face and also on my t-shirt. So you can take the skills that we learned today and apply color to your masterpieces or any other drawings that you do in the future. And remember, we just need to try our best, and our best is the best we can do. And as long as you enjoyed yourself and you tried your best, then I'm sure you created a masterpiece. You guys have a great time, and I hope you enjoyed my lessons. It was nice to work with you, crew.